Awesome. Hey everyone, how are you?
Good. How
Hey,
are
good. How
you?
are
Hey,
you?
Rohan.
Well, I love the show, so I just want to get started with Robbie, since you are pulling double duty this season as two Nathans. When you're getting the scripts, what was your sort of approach to differentiating them enough where they feel different, but I mean they're still the same person? Were you surprised that they were going to be buddies?
I was I was a little surprised they're buddies, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? He's like old Nathan was pretty self-absorbed, so I was like, of course he's either gonna love himself or he's gonna hate himself. And I love the scene when he's like when Nora's like it's this way, and old Nathan's like pretty sure it's this way, and the other Nathan's like, look, I would normally side with you, but look at that guy. He knows what he's doing. I'm like, this is really fun. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with this dynamic. But I spoke, Greg came over to me beforehand and was like, what do you think? And I was like, well, it sounds like this isn't the first time she's like you find out that Tinsley's kind of been making copies and you've maybe been seeing different versions each time, and she's been shutting him down and remaking him, and finally there's the one that sticks with Ingrid. And I was like, I think I just want to have a little more fun with this guy and make him a little weirder and a little goofier. And that's when I think Owen wrote um the fanny pack scene, which I just was like, this scene in a nutshell is copy Nathan. Like this is what this guy's into. He's a little weird and a little funny and really cares about like aesthetics and monetary things. And so it was a blast. And then shooting with myself was was just wild. It was weird. It included an earpiece and waiting for my own dialogue back and forth and trying to get the timing right. And I remember there was a walk and talk where we're in the gray zone, and I'm walking with nobody, and I would screw up the timing, and I'd be like, and start walking backwards. And I realized that the camera department doesn't hear other me, so they just see me walking with me and being like, yeah, for sure. Shit, like walking backwards. And I'm like, I look like an absolute lunatic right now, but it was great. It was super fun.
Awesome. And then Andy and Allegra, both of you guys sort of go from sort of frenemies to, and it seems like they're inching closer and closer to becoming friends after, especially after that sort of final twist in the finale. Can you sort of talk to me about developing that relationship with one another, and what are your sort of hopes for that dynamic moving into season four?
You want to start, Andy?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think it was really beautiful because then we both got our own Nathan, this season, and it kind of took that off the table of us like fighting over him in a way. It was like, oh no, we both have gotten the Nathan that we want, and now, all right, actually, you're kind of cool, and it just it really changed the dynamic, which was fun. And the first two seasons, Nora and Ingrid didn't really shoot a lot together, or we didn't have a ton of scenes together. We normally don't, but this season it was really fun just to like play. And even the scenes where Ingrid takes over Nora's avatar, and in that sense we got to work together too again, just like crafting that, and that was, I loved it. um Allegra is such a joy and so incredible to watch, and so to get to work with her in that sense, I just learned so much, and it's always so fun. So I'm glad that our characters, aren't, or maybe we're frenemies, but like we're getting along more, and I think that that's a beautiful relationship that I hope continues to blossom.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think you know, they feel like opposites in many ways at face value, but they definitely have similar taste in men. And they love Botox Babies, the TV show that keeps coming back. And if they have those things in common, they have the basis of a friendship.
Absolutely.
And I think as we've seen, like Nora's okay with befriending exes. Like we had this great arc for Holden in season 3, which was such a fun thing to see, and Christine did such a great job. That there's, these these women have a lot in common if they all like the same guy, and if they could just talk for 5 minutes, they might discover more.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Robbie, since we have seen Nathan sort of at the center of this entire controversy, but we do also see him realize that he's not still a person at the end of the season before he gets arrested, obviously. But so what do you think is sort of the next logical journey for whichever Nathan did survive, and sort of like tries to find his, I guess, purpose again, whether he's a download or an upload?
I guess that's the big question: is he a download or an upload? Because that's going to set the trajectory. But with that being said, I actually think that's just going to change the setting, because I think that regardless of which one it is, it's going to be what this show, I think, at its core is, which is it's a obviously a satirical comedy, but it's a romance, and it's going to be, figuring out what that relationship is, whether it's upload Nathan with Nora or upload Nathan with Ingrid or download Nathan with Nora, and whether they're going to Montreal or whether they're having this big upload wedding, and seeing where the world of upload is in season 4. I have found, after doing 3 seasons of this, I have found that it doesn't matter what I think or what I'm guessing, because the people who actually make those decisions are much smarter and more talented than I am and more creative. So, I had some ideas, and Greg, for as incredible and smart as he is, he has no ego, and he has the whole cast in before he writes the season, and he's like, what do you guys think? Where do you like your characters to go? And he's very good at sprinkling in what we think with his genius, and finding a way, to make this incredible show that still has a little bit of our DNA in it, which is very cool, and I'll give him all the credit. So I'm just very excited to see what they figure out, and fingers crossed we get to do this again.
Absolutely. And then I don't want to keep you too long, but Andy, you did mention that scene where Ingrid is pretending to be Nora. So what kind of conversation were you two having together? Because Allegra does get some of the most like meanest put down lines I think they've ever in all 3 seasons. So what were your conversations that made that as much? Because you have her cadence down, you have her mannerisms down. Well, so can you break down those scenes together?
Oh yeah, well, I think I watched Allegra do it when she's filming it, so that was so much fun with goggles on. So watching that, right? And then I think we had talked about it, and then I got to record you actually saying it, right?
I think I sent you some videos, and then I was also just kind of around that day, just in general, just kind of lurking. But yeah, that was it was basically all Andy, just like, no, I think I was like, we need to, no, I think I got it, I think, and you did.
Well, you gave me so much. I was like watching, I was, and I think too, it was just fun because Nora doesn't really get to do that, and she's learning how to stand up for herself and, use her voice. But Ingrid just like, no, it's not even, there's no filter, and it's just like right away. And so it was great to kind of embody that, and also just, for Ingrid too, of having that humanity. And there's that scene afterwards where she and Nathan are talking, and it's like, yeah, like, whatever. There's this sentiment of like, hey, Nora's working hard, and like she goes through some stuff.
Are going through, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it was a beautiful scene that just showed so much humanity. But for myself, selfishly, it was oh my god, it was such a blast to tell those guys off.
The "Are your parents still together" speech is like one of my favorite speeches in television history. It is, whoever wrote it is so messed up. It's so funny.
It's so weird and so Ingrid. Just like, oh, it gets worse and worse and worse. Cool.
So good.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I just rewatched that right before this, but thank you so much everyone for your time. It's been a while since I've done this, so I have to get used to talking to really good looking people again. So thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Ryan, you're a stud, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rohan.
Thank
Have a good one.
you, Rohan. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.